Okay, so I'm trying a couple new things here. One is this recorder, and the other is I'm going to try a completely different effort here in using these images. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images here. First thing I'm going to do is just bring them into develop and see about just basic editing here. Let's see, highlights, yeah, okay. Just to, I don't really think that the specifics are going to be too important to me, but I do want to make as much good correction as I can, just to give them a little bit of life. Okay, that's pretty good. Maybe presence up a little bit. Okay, and then I'm just going to sync that across these 5 here, so I get the same exposure on them. And I'm going to bring these right into Photoshop as layers, because I want to do something a little bit different with these. No idea how it's going to turn out. Well, that's not really all that different from all the other kind of things that I do with this, but for this one I'm really not sure. So hopefully these come in as layers. If they don't, I know how to make them layers. Nope, did not come in as layers. Alright, so let's see what else I need to do here. Alright, I should have been able to get these guys here. Let's see, is it down here? Open as layers in Photoshop. There we go. Haven't done this in a while. So I have that image there already in Photoshop, and here's the other 4. You can see they're coming in here as layers. And I'll go back over to alright, there's those 4. Let's just grab this one and put it in here as another layer. Okay, so now I've got these 5 layers. And what I want to do is I want the bird to be I want to see all the birds in here. Okay, so let's first just see if we can do some kind of, there we go. That's just a lighten on the first one. Alright, let's take some of these out of here so I can see what I'm doing. There's the one. There's the second one. Let's change this to lighten also. And it looks like we got something going here. Lighten that one. Lighten that one. And normal on this one. Okay. Well, that's actually looks pretty good. Let's try to kind of line up some of these. I probably could have lined these up using Photoshop. But let's just kind of see what happens if we try to do some manual alignment. Okay, if I kind of line this baby on the... Alright, let's do this a little bit more organized. Alright, so there's this one. I've got... Alright, got a few there. We'll use the base kind of as the key reference. Alright, now I got all of them. Nah, I messed that up pretty good. I'll get there. Alright, now they're all kind of set together. Something's really out. That one right there is really out. Okay. Alright, now all of what I really wanted to do here was to get this little cluster. So let's just do a crop. That's really what I wanted. Alright, I'm just going to stop this for a second here. Okay, so it's kind of interesting. What I really like to do here is kind of isolate that. I need to get rid of some of this distraction here. So I'm going to just combine all these layers. All right, and let's try just doing a quick selection of these, because I don't really want a close. Pretty good. Be sure I want to get all these extra little white things here. Feathers, I guess they're called. Looks pretty good. And since that's selected, I will select inverse and create a new layer from that. So let's see what we've got here. Yep, pretty good. Alright, let's take this guy out here. Don't need any of that. And probably should clean up some of this. But let's see what we can do with I think Fractalius is really going to do a nice job on this. I'll need some kind of background, but I'll deal with that later. I want it so that you can see what's going on. Well, that's kind of interesting right there, isn't it? but they're a little too abstract. So when I find one that works, then I can layer it. There's some interesting patterns. I still want to have the idea. See, there's the head right there. You can still see the head, see the feathers, the wings. So that's pretty good. Let's see about brightness. Maybe we can get some. There's no color in this at all, right? So got to get some pattern going. That looks good. Let's try the inside outside here. I'm going to go with that. We'll let that run. And so there's the result of that. Now let's just see what happens when we try some different blending techniques. Yeah, it's starting to get some nice kind of three-dimensional. Yeah, I really like this. I'm not sure I like green, but I do like the way that it's kind of popping. Lighter color. Whoa. Okay. I like the lightness of it. Actually, I think I like that best. It's got good green. What happens when we bring the background into it? It gives it kind of a little bit of context, but I really don't like that background. Too many pieces. So let's go back to Lightroom, and we'll just grab one of those backgrounds, because that's actually pretty good. And we'll go ahead and pop that into no. Alright, so now that's over there. We'll again copy this, all layers. Copy that, over to here, paste it in. Really doesn't do much. Alright, that took a while before I really understood what I was doing. Not that I do now, but essentially I just didn't have a canvas big enough. So I've got this bird in the background here, so what I'm going to do here is we'll do a transform, and I'll just try to make him smaller so that he doesn't show up as much, because I really just don't want to go through having to get rid of all the pieces. Okay, so we see a little bit of wing here and a little bit there. We see the little guys here. I think that's more like what I want, but let's go ahead and crop out a little bit of this here, because I don't need that cormorant out there. And we can get rid of the extra canvas that kind of showed up here. I also don't need the little guys at the bottom. Okay, that's better. So now I've got an unbelievable looking bird coming in for a landing with his kids. And what I'm going to do here is take layer 3 and let's run that through Topaz Impression, because I don't want the super realistic back end with the crazy, unrealistic incoming bird. So let's see what we get. That's kind of interesting. Remember, the bird's not going to show up, so I'm not really all that concerned with maybe the watercolor. See, that kind of still leaves some realistic here, but it washes out the back, which I kind of like. Let's bring the opacity up a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of nice too, right? Smudge it a little bit more. I was not real happy with the leaves on here. I mean, with the branches, but I kind of like the way that they're fuzzing out. Okay, let's just do that. That looks pretty good. All right, that's a nice combination, actually. I think I'm going to take just a little bit of this out because it interferes with the coloration. I'm just using the healing brush here because I think that'll help it out some. A little bit better. Although, now that I see that, I think what I want to do is actually just get rid of it. So we'll use the layer mask and just kind of get rid of some of this. Right here. Same thing with this. Yeah, it's better. Alright. Alright, funny looking bird in a kind of a prehistoric looking background. Okay, let's go ahead and save this out. I think that's enough of this. I don't want to save that. Alright, so we should be back. There we are in Lightroom. Put a pick on that. And I think what I want to do is to take this then into Perfect Photo Suite and see about some kind of a layer on the back of it. I like the way the colors blend. That really, I like it. Okay, so extras, we're going to look at textures, and let's just look at some of these. This one looks pretty good. Right. Let's fit it here first because I think it's too big. There we go. And then let's just kind of see what happens with the basics. I think what I want is some kind of I like the prehistoric theme of this. So there's just the overlay. It looks like overlay has been doing really well, nice things for me. Yeah, I like that you can see the bird faces here and the wings. I mean, you really do get the impression that it's coming into land. And I'm just going to leave it like that, you know. I like it. So we'll save this. And then close it. And go back into Lightroom, which is where that ought to be. Needs to refresh here, I think. Yep, there it is. So, there it is. I like it. Not too bad an edit for not even, well, I had the idea of pulling these together, but I like the overall. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, and any suggestions or anything, let me know.